If you're on Social Security, you need to hear this. There's a new plan floating around Washington that could cap how much of a raise some beneficiaries get each year. And honestly, it's got a lot of people talking. Some are worried, some think it's genius, and a lot of folks are just plain confused. But here's what nobody's telling you. This could actually save Social Security from a guaranteed 24% benefit cut that's coming in just 6.5 years. Yeah, you heard that right. Without changes, we're looking at a massive cut to everyone's monthly check. So what's really going on? Who would be affected? And could this actually help more than it hurts? Stay with me, because we're breaking this all down right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is where we cut through the noise and talk about Social Security in plain English. No political spin, no scare tactics, just the facts you need to make sense of what's happening with your benefits. Now I know anytime there's talk about capping or limiting Social Security, people get nervous, and I get it. You've worked your whole life. You've paid into this system. And the last thing you want to hear is that your cost of living adjustment might be affected. But here's the thing. This proposal isn't about hurting retirees. It's about saving the program from insolvency. And whether you love it or hate it, we need to understand what's on the table. So here's what we're covering today. What this new COLA cap proposal actually says, who would be affected and who wouldn't be, how much money this could save, Social Security, why we're even talking about this in the first place, and what it means for your monthly check. Let's dive in. Okay, before we talk about the proposal itself, we need to talk about why proposals like this are even being discussed. And it comes down to one word: insolvency. Right now, Social Security has about $2.7 trillion in its trust fund. That sounds like a lot of money, right? It is, but here's the problem. Social Security pays out roughly $120 billion every single month to beneficiaries. That's $1.4 trillion a year going out the door. And the money coming in? It's not enough to cover what's going out. So Social Security has been dipping into that trust fund to make up the difference. And at the current rate, that $2.7 trillion is going to be completely gone in about 6 to 6.5 years, maybe sooner. When that happens, when the trust fund hits zero, Social Security will only be able to pay out what it collects in payroll taxes. And that means an automatic 24% to 25% cut to everyone's benefits. Not just high earners, not just new retirees, everyone. That's not a scare tactic. That's the law. That's how the program is designed. So when you hear about proposals to cap COLA or adjust benefits, it's not because lawmakers want to be mean. It's because they're trying to avoid that 24% cut. And honestly, we should want them to find solutions. Because doing nothing guarantees a disaster. All right, so now let's talk about this specific proposal. Here's the idea. Instead of giving every Social Security beneficiary the full cost of living adjustment every year, the plan would cap the COLA for the highest income beneficiaries. Now, what does that mean? Let's say someone is receiving $50,000 a year from Social Security. That's a little over $4,000 a month. If there's a 2% COLA that year, this person would normally get about a $1,000 raise for the year, or around $83 more per month. But under this proposal, the COLA would be capped at a certain dollar amount, let's say $900 for the year. So instead of getting the full $1,000 increase, this high-income beneficiary would only get $900. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, so people are losing money? Not exactly. They're still getting a raise. It's just a smaller raise than they would have gotten otherwise. Their benefit doesn't go down. It just doesn't go up as much. And here's the kicker. This would only apply to the highest earners. We're talking about people receiving $3,500, $4,000, $4,500 a month or more. If you're getting $1,500, $2,000, even $3,000 a month, this wouldn't affect you at all. You'd still get your full COLA every single year. The idea is to use a tiered approach. The higher your benefit, the less of the COLA you'd receive. Until eventually, at a certain income level, maybe you don't get any COLA at all. And look, I get why some people don't like this. If you worked hard, paid into the system, and earned a high benefit, it can feel unfair to be singled out. But here's the reality. Social Security is going broke. And if we don't make changes, everyone loses. So let's talk numbers. How much would this actually save? According to the analysis, depending on how high they set the income threshold, meaning which percentile of earners gets capped, this could save anywhere from $35 billion to $385 billion over the next 10 years. Now, to you and me, that's a massive amount of money. But in Social Security terms, it's helpful, but it's not a cure-all. Remember, Social Security is paying out $120 billion per month. So even saving $385 billion over 10 years doesn't completely solve the problem, but it does buy time. It could push insolvency back by a few months, maybe even a year or more, depending on how it's structured. And honestly, we might desperately need that extra time. Because the way Congress works, slowly, cautiously, and often at the last minute, we could be right up against the deadline before they pass any kind of long-term fix. So while this proposal wouldn't save Social Security on its own, it's a piece of the puzzle, and combined with other reforms, it could make a real difference. Now, I want to be real with you. There are a lot of people out there who think this is a no-brainer. And honestly, I kind of see their point. Here's why. Right now, there's a massive income divide among Social Security beneficiaries. You've got millions of people scraping by on $1,200, $1,500 a month, way below the federal poverty line. These are people who can barely afford rent and groceries, let alone medication or unexpected expenses. And then, you've got a small percentage of beneficiaries pulling in $50,000, $60,000 a year from Social Security alone. That's great for them. They worked hard, they earned it. But it also raises a question. Does it really make sense to keep giving the wealthiest retirees the exact same percentage raise as someone who's living in poverty? Because here's what happens. When COLA goes up by, say, 3%, someone getting $1,500 a month gets an extra $45. But someone getting $5,000 a month gets an extra $150. The gap gets wider every single year. This proposal says, let's cap the raises for the people who are already doing well and use that savings to protect the program for everyone, especially the folks who need it most. Now, some people will say, that's not fair. I paid into the system, I earned my benefit, and I hear that. But here's the thing. If we do nothing and Social Security becomes insolvent, everyone is taking a 24% cut, including the people who can least afford it. So the question becomes, is it better to slightly limit COLA for high earners now, or wait and let everyone's benefit get slashed later? Let's get specific. If this proposal were to pass, who would actually see their COLA capped? Based on the details we have, this would likely affect people receiving around $3,500 to $4,000 per month or more. That's roughly the top 10 to 15% of Social Security beneficiaries. So if you're getting $1,000 to $2,000 a month, you're not affected. You'd get your full COLA, $2,500 to $3,000 a month, still not affected. Full COLA for you. $3,500 to $4,500 a month or higher, this is where the cap might start to apply. And even then, it's not like your benefit is being cut. You're still getting a raise, it's just a smaller raise than you would have gotten otherwise. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I'm not rich. I get $4,000 a month, and I still struggle, and I believe you. Cost of living varies wildly depending on where you live. $4,000 a month in rural Kansas goes a lot further than $4,000 a month in San Francisco. But the reality is, Social Security has to draw the line somewhere. And targeting the highest earners is the approach that hurts the fewest people while saving the most money. So where does this proposal stand? Is it going to happen? Honestly, we don't know yet. This is just one of many proposals floating around Washington right now. And the reality is, Congress moves slowly, especially on something as politically sensitive as Social Security. But here's what I do know. Something has to happen. Because if lawmakers do nothing, We're 6.5 years away from automatic cuts. And those cuts will be brutal. So whether it's this proposal, or a different one, or some combination of ideas, reform is coming. It has to. And I know change is scary. A lot of people hear Social Security reform and immediately think, oh no, they're coming for my benefits. But the truth is, smart reform could actually protect your benefits. It could prevent that 24% cut. It could make the program sustainable for the long term. The worst thing we can do is stick our heads in the sand and hope the problem goes away. Because it won't. Look, I know this is a lot to take in. And if you're feeling anxious or frustrated, you're not alone. Social Security is something you've paid into your whole working life. It's supposed to be there for you. And the idea that it might change, or worse, run out, is legitimately scary. But here's what I want you to remember. We're not powerless. The more informed we are, the better we can advocate for ourselves and for solutions that actually work. So keep watching videos like this. Stay informed. Talk to your representatives. And most importantly, don't panic. There are smart people working on this, and there are solutions out there. We're all in this together. All right, that's it for today. If this video helped you understand what's going on with Social Security, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe so you don't miss future updates. Because, trust me, there's a lot more coming. Drop a comment below and let me know. Do you think this COLA cap proposal is fair? Or do you have a better idea? I read every comment, and I love hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.